Maria lived alone in a small town in southern Spain. She was 60 years old. She was a widow. Her house was old. The roof had red tiles. The walls had white paint. The wooden door creaked. The garden had olive trees and a small lemon tree. The town had a plaza with a fountain. Church bells rang in the morning. People walked slowly. They greeted each other with a nod. The sun was warm in summer. The wind smelled of salt and rosemary. Maria woke early every day. She made coffee. She sat by the window. She watched the street. She fed the birds. She swept the floor. She cooked simple meals. She liked gazpacho in summer and caldo in winter. She listened to the radio. She read old letters. She kept a small photo of her husband on the table. She talked to him sometimes. Her voice was soft. Her hands were steady but tired. Maria had one son by blood. His name was Javier. He lived in a big city far away. He called sometimes. The calls were short. He said he was busy. He sent messages with emojis. He did not visit often. Maria missed him. She missed his voice. She missed his laugh. She kept his childhood drawings in a box. Maria also had an adopted daughter. Her name was Anna. Anna had married and moved to another town. Anna had 2 children. The children were 5 and 7 years old. They were lively and loud. They liked to run and sing. They liked to eat churros and play in the plaza. But they did not visit Maria. They did not call her. Anna did not explain why. She said little things like, "It is complicated." Maria felt a quiet pain. She did not ask too much. She did not want to push. The town knew Maria. She was kind. She helped neighbors with small tasks. She gave bread to the cat near the bakery. She smiled at children. She remembered birthdays. She kept her house clean. She kept her pride. She had little money. She had a small pension. She paid the bills on time. She kept the house because it was her memory. The house held her life. It held the smell of her husband's shirts. It held the sound of her son's first steps. At night, Maria sat in the kitchen. She looked at the moon. She felt alone. She felt safe in her old house. The house was a friend. It was a place of memories. It was also a place of silence. One spring morning, Maria received a long message. It was from Javier. He wrote with many exclamation marks. He wrote about a new life. He wrote about a job abroad. He wrote about a house with a garden and a pool. He wrote about sun and beaches. He wrote about a new start. He wrote, "Mama, come with me. Sell the house. We will live together. I will take care of you." Maria read the message twice. Her hands trembled. Her heart beat fast. She felt hope. She felt fear. She wanted to see her son. She wanted to be near him. She wanted to meet his new life. She wanted to be part of his days. A week later, Javier came to the town. He arrived with a suitcase and a smile. He hugged Maria. He smelled of cologne and travel. He looked older. He had small lines near his eyes. He spoke quickly. He told stories about the city. He showed photos on his phone. He showed a bright apartment. He showed a job contract. He said the company would pay well. He said the cost of living was high, but they could manage together. "Sell the house, Mama," Javier said one evening. They sat at the kitchen table. The lemon tree cast a shadow on the wall. The radio played a soft flamenco song. "We can buy a small flat near my work. We can be a family again. I will help you. I promise." Maria looked at him. She saw her son. She saw the boy who once climbed the olive tree. She saw the young man who learned to cook with her. She felt a warm light in her chest. She wanted to believe him. Anna came to visit too. She arrived with her 2 children. The children ran in the garden. They laughed. They chased the cat. Anna hugged Maria. She kissed her cheek. She said, "Mama, this is a good chance. Javier is right. We can be together. The children need their grandmother." Maria listened. She felt the house like a heavy stone in her hands. The house was old. It needed repairs. The roof leaked in winter. The pipes were old. The money from the sale could help. The idea of living with family felt safe. The idea of new streets and new shops felt exciting. Javier spoke about the sale again. He said, "We will find a good buyer. We will get a fair price. I will handle everything. You will not worry." He touched her hand. His touch was warm. Maria felt trust. Anna added, "We will help with the paperwork. We will be there. The children will have a home with their grandmother. It will be good for all of us." Maria thought of her husband's chair. She thought of the small kitchen where she had cooked for 40 years. She thought of the lemon tree. She thought of the birds. She thought of the letters. She thought of the silence. She thought of the future. She made a decision. She would sell the house. She would go with them. She would trust her son. She would be part of a family again. Before the sale, Maria did small things. She cleaned the attic. She packed old clothes. She gave some dishes to neighbors. She kept the photo of her husband. She kept the box with Javier's drawings. She signed papers at the town office. She felt nervous. She felt excited. One afternoon, Javier said, "We will go to the city next week. We will look at flats. We will choose together. Bring only a small bag. I will buy your plane ticket." Maria packed a small suitcase. She put a few dresses, a sweater, the photo of her husband, and the box with drawings. She kissed the lemon tree. She said goodbye to the cat. She walked to the bus stop. The town people waved. The church bells rang. She felt a mix of joy and fear. On the bus, Maria held her ticket. She looked at the landscape. Olive trees passed by. Small white houses passed by. She thought of the life she left. She thought of the life she would find. She whispered, "I hope I made the right choice." At the airport, Javier was calm. He had a small bag. He had a smile. He said, "Everything will be fine, Mama. Trust me." He hugged her again. He helped with the suitcase. He bought coffee. He spoke with a friendly voice. They went to the check-in desk. Javier handled the papers. He spoke to the agent. He said, "We have 2 tickets. My mother and I." The agent smiled. She stamped the tickets. She gave them boarding passes. They sat near the gate. People walked with suitcases. Children cried. Announcements sounded in English and Spanish. Javier looked at Maria. He said, "When we arrive, I will call a taxi. We will go to the flat. I already paid the deposit." Maria felt safe. She held his hand. She felt the warmth of his skin. She felt the hope of a new life. The plane announcement changed. The gate number changed. People moved. Javier stood up. He said, "I will go to the restroom. I will be back in a minute." He kissed Maria on the forehead. He smiled. He walked away. Maria waited. Minutes passed. The boarding time came. The plane was ready. The gate closed. People lined up. Maria stood with her suitcase. She looked for Javier. He was not there. She called his name softly. "Javier?" No answer. She looked around. She saw a man with a blue jacket. She saw a woman with a red hat. She saw a child with a toy plane. Javier was not there. She called his phone. It went to voicemail. She sent a message. No reply. She felt a small knot in her stomach. She thought he was playing a joke. She thought he would come back. Time passed. The plane left. Maria sat on a bench. Her hands shook. She felt cold. She felt alone in a crowd. People moved around her. They did not see her pain. The airport was loud. The lights were bright. The screens showed flights and times. Her heart beat fast. She went to the information desk. She asked, "Where is my son?" "He left me here." The woman at the desk looked kind. She said, "I am sorry. Did he buy a ticket? Do you have his name?" Maria gave the name. The woman checked the system. She said, "I cannot find him on any flight. Did he leave the airport?" Maria felt a sharp pain. She said, "He promised. He said he would be back. He said he would take care of me." Her voice broke. Tears came. She covered her face with her hands. A security guard came. He asked questions. He was polite. He asked for her ID. He asked for the ticket. He asked for details. He said, "We will check the cameras." He left. Maria sat on the bench. She felt the world shrink. She felt the old house far away. She felt the lemon tree like a memory. She felt the box with drawings in her bag. She felt the photo of her husband like a small light. Hours passed. The airport closed some shops. The lights dimmed. People left. The cleaning staff moved trolleys. The announcements were fewer. Maria stayed. She slept a little on the bench. She woke with a start. Her phone battery was low. She had little money. She had no idea where to go. At midnight, a man found her. He was a janitor. He had a gentle face. He said, "Are you okay, Senora?" Maria looked at him. She said, "My son left me. He left me here." Her voice was small. The janitor sat beside her. He said, "Do you have a place to sleep? Do you have money for a hotel?" Maria shook her head. She said, "No, I sold my house. I gave the money to my son. He said he would buy the tickets. He said he would take care of me." Her voice was a whisper. Tears fell. The janitor called a number. He spoke in a low voice. He said, "There is an old woman here. She is alone." He spoke with a friend. He arranged a small room in a cheap guest house near the airport. He paid with his own money. He said, "You can stay tonight. I will come in the morning." Maria felt grateful. She felt shame. She felt anger. She felt betrayed. She could not sleep. She thought of Javier. She thought of Ana. She thought of the house. She thought of the lemon tree. She thought of the photo of her husband. The next morning, Maria went to the hospital. She felt weak. She had a fever. She had a panic attack. The doctor said she needed rest. The hospital staff were kind. They gave her water and medicine. They called social services. They asked questions. They asked about family. Maria told the truth. She said, "My son left me at the airport. He took the money. He promised to help. He left me." She cried. She said, "I feel so alone." The social worker listened. She had a calm voice. She said, "We will help you. We will try to find your son. We will check the bank. We will check the flight records." She wrote notes. She made calls. Days passed. The hospital was quiet at night. Maria watched the ceiling. She thought of the town. She thought of the church bells. She thought of the smell of rosemary. She felt a deep sadness. She felt a betrayal that cut like a cold wind. One afternoon, a nurse brought a small plate of food. She sat and talked with Maria. She said, "My name is Carmen. I am from a village near here. I know small towns. I know the feeling of leaving and being left." Carmen smiled. She said, "You are not alone here." Maria looked at Carmen. She felt a small warmth. She said, "Thank you." Her voice was soft. The hospital called Javier. They found his number. He did not answer. They sent messages. He did not reply. The social worker checked the bank. The money from the house was gone. It had been transferred to accounts in another country. The social worker said, "We will open an investigation. We will try to trace the transfers." Maria felt a cold emptiness. She felt foolish. She felt a deep shame. She thought of the house. She thought of the lemon tree. She thought of the birds. She thought of the box with drawings. She thought of the photo of her husband. She asked the social worker, "Why would he do this? Why would he leave me?" The social worker did not have an answer. She said, "People make choices. Some choices are cruel. Some choices are selfish. We will do what we can." Maria stayed in the hospital for a week. She rested. She ate small meals. She walked slowly in the garden. She watched the sky. She felt the pain like a heavy stone in her chest. She cried at night. She whispered to the photo of her husband, "What should I do now?" After the hospital, Maria had no home. The house was sold. The money was gone. The town felt far. She had a small bag and a tired heart. The social worker found a small shelter for older people. It was not a hotel. It was a place with many beds. It had a small garden. It had a kitchen. It had people who needed help. Maria arrived at the shelter with a small suitcase. She felt ashamed. She felt like a stranger. She sat on the bed. She touched the photo of her husband. She felt the weight of loss. At the shelter, she met people. There was an old man who liked to play cards. There was a woman who knitted. There was a young volunteer named Lucia. Lucia had bright eyes. She spoke slowly and clearly. She listened to Maria's story. She did not judge. She said, "I am sorry. I will help you." Lucia took Maria to the kitchen. She made tea. She sat with her. She said, "You can stay here while we find a better solution. We will help you with papers. We will help you find a place to live." Maria felt a small hope. She felt a small trust. She began to talk with others. She shared bread. She shared stories. She listened to their lives. She learned small things about them. She learned that many people had hard stories. She learned that kindness could be simple. One day, a group of strangers came to the shelter. They were a small group from a local church and a community center. They brought food and blankets. They sang softly. They brought a basket of oranges and a jar of homemade jam. They spoke with gentle voices. They asked Maria about her life. They listened. A woman named Rosa sat with Maria. Rosa had a warm smile. She said, "We are from the town near the sea. We know your plaza. We know the bakery. We know the lemon tree." Maria felt surprised. She said, "You know my town?" Rosa nodded. She said, "We come here every month. We bring food. We bring company." Rosa and her friends helped Maria with small tasks. They helped her get new clothes. They helped her call the bank. They helped her speak with the police. They helped her write a letter to Anna. They helped her find a lawyer who worked for free. They helped her feel seen. Maria began to go to the community center with Rosa. She learned to make simple crafts. She learned to cook a new recipe with tomatoes and garlic. She learned to dance a slow paso doble with a volunteer. She laughed for the first time in months. The laughter was small, but it was real. One afternoon, a young man named Miguel came to the center. He was a baker. He had a small bakery in the town near the sea. He brought fresh bread. He had a gentle voice. He asked Maria about her life. He listened. He said, "My grandmother used to make gazpacho like yours. She used to add a little lemon. It was the best." Maria smiled. She felt a connection. She began to help in the bakery sometimes. She kneaded dough with her hands. She learned new recipes. She taught Miguel a recipe for a small almond cake. People liked the cake. The bakery became a place where Maria felt useful. Slowly, Maria found a small room in a shared house. It was near the sea. The room had a small window. The window looked at a narrow street. The room had a small bed and a table. It was not the old house. It was not the lemon tree, but it was a place to rest. Rosa and Miguel visited often. Lucia called every week. The shelter staff checked on her. The community helped with small money for bills. They helped with paperwork. They helped with a small pension review. They helped Maria feel safe. One day, Anna called. Her voice was quiet. She said, "Mama, I am sorry. I did not know. I did not call because I was afraid." Maria listened. She felt a mix of feelings. She felt anger.
She felt relief. She felt sadness. Anna said, "The children miss you."
They ask about you. They draw pictures. I am sorry I did not bring them. It is complicated. I will come to see you. Maria said nothing at first. She looked at the photo of her husband. She thought of the lemon tree. She thought of the house. After a pause, Maria said, "I am okay. I have friends. I have people who help me." She did not say everything. She did not say the pain. She did not say the betrayal. She did not say the money. Anna came to visit 2 weeks later. She arrived with the children. The children ran to Maria. They hugged her. They smelled of soap and crayons. They said, "Grandma, we missed you." They showed drawings. They gave her a small shell from the beach. Anna looked at Maria with tired eyes. She said, "I am sorry, Mama. I should have been here. I was afraid of Javier. He changed. He asked for money. He said he needed help. I thought he would help you. I did not know he would leave you." Anna's voice trembled. She looked ashamed. Maria listened. She felt a small relief. She felt a small anger. She felt a small love. She hugged Anna. She hugged the children. She said, "I forgive you." The words were simple. They were heavy. They were true. But Maria also knew she could not go back to the old life. The house was gone. The money was gone. The trust was broken. She had found new friends. She had found a new rhythm. She had found a small bakery and a small room. She had found people who acted with kindness. One evening, Javier called. He used a different number. He said, "Mama, I am sorry. I made a mistake. I needed money. I thought I could fix things. I did not mean to hurt you." His voice was small. He sounded tired. Maria listened. She felt a storm inside. She felt anger and sadness. She said, "Why did you do it, Javier? Why did you leave me at the airport?" He did not answer. He said, "I am sorry. I will try to come back." Maria said, "Do not come if you will hurt me again." Actions matter more than words. She hung up. She felt a strange calm. She felt a new strength. She had survived the betrayal. She had found people who helped. She had found a new life. Months passed. Maria worked at the bakery. She woke early. She kneaded dough. She smelled warm bread. She walked to the sea sometimes. She watched the waves. She listened to the gulls. She walked in the plaza of the new town. She heard flamenco music in the evenings. She ate tapas with friends. She learned new words. She learned to say, "I am okay," in a new way. Her days were simple. She had a routine. She had friends. She had a small garden with a pot of rosemary on the window. She had a small photo of her husband on the table. She had the children who visited on Sundays. They brought drawings and small shells. They called her Abuela Maria. They kissed her cheeks. Maria learned to trust slowly. She learned to ask for help. She learned to accept kindness. She learned that people could be good. She learned that family could be chosen. One afternoon, the community center had a small festival. They decorated the square with paper lanterns. They served paella and sang songs. People danced. The children ran. The sun was warm. Maria stood near the bakery table. She watched the faces. She felt a deep gratitude. Rosa came and took her hand. She said, "Look at this. You are part of us now." Maria smiled. She felt tears in her eyes. She said, "Thank you." Her voice was steady. Javier never returned to the town. He sent a short message 1 year later. He wrote, "I am sorry. I am trying to fix things." Maria read the message. She felt nothing but a small sadness. She had moved on. Maria's life was not perfect. She missed the old house sometimes. She missed the lemon tree. She missed the quiet nights. But she had new memories. She had new friends. She had a chosen family. One evening, as the sun set, Maria sat on a bench near the sea. The sky was orange. The waves made a soft sound. A child ran by and dropped a small shell. The child looked up and smiled. Maria picked up the shell and put it in her pocket. She felt the warmth of the day. She felt the kindness of strangers. She felt the strength inside her. She whispered to the wind, "Love is action. Love is care. Love is not only blood." She smiled. True love shows itself in actions, not only in family ties. Kindness from strangers can heal deep wounds. People can choose a new family through care and respect. Even after betrayal, a person can find strength and a new life.